Hey, there's a seven, there's seven, so, why do we have to share, so. Okay. Okay. No worries, see you later. Thanks. Oh, that's what it was. It's actually somebody that's not, they're not. So, okay. But that's a story. Okay. Sure, it is. No worries, comfortable. This is nice and cool. Better than that chair, that one chair on the corner, I guess. Definitely. Right. Actually, yeah, I mean, he's still.
Just starting out, they got a meeting with board from there, and
Are you going? Oh, okay. Yeah, just remind me. Yeah, no worries, I did, sorry, that's fine.
this is where it's a very important meeting.
Oh.
You aren't waiting closely on. Then you got it.
Okay.
We can sort of, some.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. Great, well, we're trying to.
Delete my email.
But then we can.
Or they are, they.
4 hours.
Good morning.
Yeah, we're.
Of course. So we're just gonna, and then we.
Yeah, so we're still, so we're in. No.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay.
No, I was still. Most pendulum of the process. It's everything. Well, I appreciate that, you know, so it's not like you can talk and just when I should go. I don't know what to say. I can't sit there. It's the part to sit there. It's birthday, it's birthday.
You want to stay over time? For feeling, I'll be up there. Over this.
Yeah. I don't know. Aye.
Oh. So that the order, right?
Yeah.
That's right. Actually, south, civil fines. Just, you know, typically, we're going, what's wrong with the industrial place, are they beyond restoration? So how it's gonna. They got a lot of competition. They're changed. Yeah. All right. Bye. Yeah.
Hey, so there you go. Sunlight, but the. There you go. Good to see you. Yeah. How long was this thing last year then? I gotta be to work by 6:45.
Let's see.
94 Pioneer.
94, I think you're so.
Oh, I don't know, maybe something like that. I have a little more. It's the carport again. Yeah. I mean, it's possible to. Oh, the twins. Certainly not. How much subdivision do you do with the three?
Hey, what was it, why do you think that extra off?
You know what, it was the Saturday of
We saw that.
April's one session. Okay, we saw that. Okay, normally we get that, they came. 8 o'clock in the morning. They hung around with my guys. Yeah.
Yeah, I should have said something when I. See if I get it, probably. And I can work that for you, so.
Yeah. Well, hopefully it'll go.
Okay.
Okay, well, I bet you know where it is. And I started, but then turn off on Saturday. Yeah, there's a good influence.
Yeah. You know where they go.
Yeah, all right.
David, I'm already.
Lori and Jeff.
Yeah. That's right. Come back there, like, you back there.
Fixing the fences.
And they've been. Thanks.
No, it's
Now I got it.
like somebody was. Doing something with the fence.
Oh, I think they had been talking, but I think the work was going on between you and your neighbor.
Yeah.
Possibly. I think she was talking, they were talking.
Yeah.
Bench guy. There used to be a bench. guy.
Oh, yeah, this is, lighter that, we have,
Well, you know,
many years of flying car and she runs them all the way.
I took 5 years of pine straw. Over breaking that
Yeah.
off. So it's nice to grow land.
Sure. Back.
Yeah.
So it's working. Yes. Seven homes.
Yes, it's definitely, have a good weekend.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll see you later.
Hold on. Hey.
You too, Aaron. How are you? Hanging in there?
Oh,
Yeah, about, certainly, I can't get warmer, but maybe it's a sort of frame of reference. It hasn't, we haven't had many hot days.
No, and it's also not humid.
Hey, good, how are you? Okay.
Yes. Still saying now, since you're down there, for air conditioning units, it's getting harder. I mean, we did put it in and put one window unit in when it got really hot, like before there were leaves on the trees. And then I took it out. I don't do anything. So she just put it in and then, it's that. I don't like AC. So we need that, but your husband likes it, but now you can only do so much. Okay. Yeah, I'm going battle, the windows. Hi Dave, how are you?
Right, how are you?
Hey Nick, welcome back.
Thank you. How are you?
Good, thanks, how are you?
Wonderful.
Oh, I think I left my phone in the car, and I think I'm gonna get it, so it isn't roasting. Oh, so it's about now. Yeah. I'll be back. Hey, Gary. Well, you're going to be. Let's do it. Thank you.
How you doing?
It's that cannabis. That flag and whatever that is. Sorry about that. That was not bad. Oh, we don't know, we're not the only one. Looks like we have a lot. All the time. Yeah, it's not a Tesla. There's someone pulling out of your driveway.
Yeah, you're coming for three.
We have the two.
Yeah, who loves it? She's music, whatever.
It's also mine. I occasionally, but I'm looking like.
We have the same problem.
Uh-huh, they are. Occasionally. But it's my hobby.
They're nice cars. Are very good. And use. Right, on during examples.
It's getting a little bit easier.
Yeah, it's getting.
The virus still.
It's part of it.
It is, yeah. We're trying to find this way. I walk around with some of the harder. There's some coffee or. Yeah. Combine it with this one.
Yeah.
Doesn't always work out.
Many of the dollars would be stopped. Thank you. You're quite welcome. Grocery store or foods or something like that. Now, it was necessary. So it works out.
Yeah.
It's just. Takes a little.
Yeah.
Yes, I can tell your family pushing people to these. Okay, yeah. Yes, that's the way.
Yes, everyone just sits until the agenda is called. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah, the actual column on there. Absolutely.
Thank you.
Oh, did they do that? I would see, I mean, I'm depressed about that, so even if I work on something. Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. We were. Not sure. We wouldn't be.
Like you have to reteach yourself for now that it's out of your head. I know. I know. No, it doesn't follow on that. Yeah. And when in my very.
Is there anything else wrong with it?
The charging.
And I didn't want that. It's so. All the cars. It's got all the.
It's not on mine. Yeah, but what I'm gonna get to it's all. And I'm sure.
And they were in charge of it.
Okay.
Yeah, we have no deal with the.
Are we all, I know. Are we all good? I know Liz is gonna be joining us, but, is everybody ready to start the meeting? Lizzie is probably gonna be joining us, but it is after 5, so we'll start the meeting. Marcia, are you good?
Yeah, it's, everyone turn their
Turn on your
mics
mics, okay, good.
Liz, is yours like, okay, good.
And, if you want to hit Lizzie's, assuming she'll be there, and then she will be mic'd as well. Okay, great. It is 5:01 PM, and we will call the Historic Preservation and Architectural Review Board of the Village of Cooperstown to order. There are no public hearings on the agenda, so we'll move on to the first item on the agenda, 3 Elm Street. Are you here to represent
Yes, I am.
3 Elm Street? Okay, come on up and have a seat.
Standing or sitting?
Sitting, unless you prefer to stand. Yeah, it should be go ahead.
No, no.
It should pick you up, but if not, should we adjust the mic? Yeah. Great.
I can't say it.
But we find it's more comfortable for people to sit. So unless you really want to stand, please have a seat and relax. So tell us about what you'd like to do.
Sure, my name is Amjad, I live on Dale Street. We bought the house, it is our 3rd year now, and the windows don't work, like, most of them doesn't even open, in summer you want some fresh air, we can't have that. And winter also, we have storm windows, but it's not efficient, we pay a lot on gas, We did get a company to repair them, it's quite expensive as compared to replacing them. And even they told us some of the windows, they are very rotten, you push with your finger, there's, figure that, yeah, so. We got a application from a company, and the plan is to replace with the same shapes. And, yeah, here we are.
Okay, so the quote, the information you submitted was for Anderson 100 series windows, correct?
That's right.
And then you want to replace all of the windows?
That's right.
And will the windows that you're proposing fit in the current openings? Are they custom sized to fit in the current openings?
Yes, somebody came, took the measurements, and, it will be the same size, okay?
Okay. So it's a simulated divided light, and, the light you're proposing, the division is dimensional, so it's not between the glass, correct?
Say that again.
It's not a grill between the glass, it's not a piece of, material between the panes of glass, it's actually a piece of material that
Correct,
Is-
interior and exterior.
on each side of the window, or at least on the exterior. Okay, and are you proposing, because it's hard to tell, I can see very faint lines, but are you proposing that the grills reflect the current patterns on your house? Because you do have kind of interesting patterns where you have 9 lights over 1 light, so.
I have a colored one if you want.
Oh, sure, that would be great. Thank you very much. Okay, so you are proposing matching. Some of them are 4.
We do have support,
Okay.
upstairs and at the back of the house.
Mhm. I've not seen the 9 over 1, so I don't know if that's part of, did I miss that?
I think in our application, we just have the.
And here he's
Oh,
given,
no, I see.
he's given me the, so this is what I'm asking about. For example, on the front of the house, there are 9 lights.
Yep.
And then here there are 6. So do you have a plan to match this as it is, 9 lights as opposed to 6?
Yes, that's the plan, but,
Because, no 9s, no, so,
All right, so the guy when he came, I think he missed 2 windows as well. so
Okay.
it might be a mistake, I assume, but the plan is to match whatever is there, yes.
There are also 12 overall.
yeah, so
On the side.
with each window, we would want to see them match with the number of lights that they have. So some are 12/1, some are 9/1. So that would be important to replace it with the same division.
My plan is to replace just as the design that we have now.
Okay.
It costs more, I know, but that's not what we do.
And then I know we asked that you're replacing all of them. The attic window, is that?
No, we're not
Okay.
replacing that.
Okay, and then there's a picture window on the side. Is the plan to replace this picture window?
Actually, this was replaced by the contractor before us, so it's a new window.
Okay.
No plan.
I just wanted to clarify, if there were certain windows that were not being replaced. I've asked a lot of questions, so does anybody on the board have specific questions?
Do you have, off the top of your head, do you have the cost? I see the cost for,
It's 30,000,
it's,
it's easy, 30,000. And the plan is to get a credit card from Home Depot, so it's like zero.
And
and then this is from the carpentry guy, is that,
That's for the repair, yes, repair cost.
so this would be for if you're gonna have them repaired as opposed to replaced?
Correct.
So his total is, let's say it's
55 to 45.
30, 42.
so it's 25 to 35
35.
materials plus 12,500 in labor.
And he told us it won't be as efficient from energy standpoint.
My concern is that we all appreciate the fact that repairing windows is expensive. And there are definitely concerns in terms of efficiency. I've heard different debates about the efficiency of repairing old windows, how energy efficient they are as opposed to new windows. But that's, while we understand the difference in cost, it is something that we're keeping the historic windows is something that we feel is important. Especially on the front of the house. Because the front's where what people see the most. And I'm wondering if you would consider getting an idea of how much it would cost to keep the windows on the front, especially perhaps by the grace of God, they're not the ones that are in the worst condition. Have them done. You're asking for a lot of windows. I'm not sure how often we come across a 23 window replacement, but in terms of our role, or the way I interpret our role in the historic preservation board, that it would be really nice to have the front windows preserved. And it would be nice to have all preserved, but I understand what you're saying.
So speaking the one on the right side, this is where my office is. Right? The windows they don't open, and when the guy the repair came, we checked it out. It was like I think the guy when he placed them, I think he has like to take part of the wall.
Yeah, what?
Take part of the wall to replace.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it's like it's a lot of work. The guy on Home Depot, when he came, he wasn't concerned. I was sure, is it different? I'm not sure, but this is one aspect. The other thing, as I told you, part of the wood, if you just like push with your finger, there's a dent there, understand you want to preserve, the old windows, but eventually everything in life has an expiry date.
Well, even if the existing window, and the existing wood is rotted, having it redone, in the, original materials, original way, is still preserving the historic character, even if they aren't the original windows. It's not so much that we're concerned about having exactly original windows.
These are,
It's the, yeah, it's the whole.
so the design, as I said, it can be the same design.
And the material is like Fibrex.
That's a very good point, we have to read, because when I reviewed over the phone with my wife, I said, wait a minute. Vinyl, she's like, it's fibers, it's not vinyl. So it's the mixed material between the wood and the. That would be fine, it's written with the.
Can you answer one more question? This, dormer window above the porch?
Yes, that would be our bedroom.
So that is also being replaced, correct?
Correct, yes.
And then this little window is,
This is the attic for
yeah,
that.
not replaced. Okay, that must be the other side of the attic. It is our preference that windows be if they're not being restored and repaired, that they be replaced with the same materials. We have approved Fibrex materials in some situations, but I don't think we've ever been faced with a 23 window replacement before. So it is a lot because it's the whole house, and that's why we're kind of being pretty thoughtful about the questions we ask.
Yeah, do you mind if I point out one thing?
Sure.
So, if, let's say the average cost, the guy gave a reading on restoring windows. It came out that the average cost with the material, with the labor that, for materials, with the labor that he put in, it comes to around 40,000. And you've got, 30,000, you say?
Correct.
So let's say there's about a $10,000 difference. If you've got 5 windows on the front out of 23, it's, let's just call it 50, even though 25 windows would be, and I understand, my math was wild, but it's still okay. A fifth of the $10,000 difference would be about $2,000. So, you understand where I'm going with this, guys?
I understand. I think our purview is not to kind of negotiate the prices, though. I think it's to talk about the materials. I understand what you're trying to do.
Okay.
I can answer that if you, as well, you know, when you get one company to do a full job, you get a discount, of course.
Yes.
When you get different companies, it's a lot of work, it's more people that gotta come to fix certain windows, so the cost is gonna be for sure.
Gotcha. So as if we're not worried about the cost of it, then why are we not going for restoration?
I'm saying we're just talking about what's being proposed. We're not going to try to negotiate the economics of. We can present if somebody wanted to make a motion, everybody gets those questions to ask. If somebody wanted to make a motion to approve the replacement on the sides and the back and restore the front, that could be a motion, but I think this board does not dive into the weeds of the economic choices, okay? The applicant is asking for a specific window because of the cost. You're presenting a compromise, and that could be presented as a motion, but I'd like everybody to be able to ask the questions before we go to that point, if that works for you.
That sounds perfect, and thank you for explaining that. If I was thinking that, a further check by the owner into the cost of doing, well, I guess I'm probably treading into that word again, but I was thinking, before you said that, I was thinking that the owner might find out what the cost on restoration of the front would be, but maybe I don't really go.
No, I understand what you're saying. I get what you're saying, and let's let everybody ask questions, and then somebody can make a motion, but I don't want to truncate the rest of the board's opportunity to ask the questions they have.
Thanks, Liz.
So, okay, Lizzie, do you have any questions? Jim, do you have any questions? Okay, Dave, did you have any questions?
And, I wanna talk about the stairs. Take a break from the.
Yeah, there you go.
The front says,
installation of exterior stairs from Eastport to driveway area. But, so the picture shows actually it's stair, I assume these are the proposed stairs.
That's, yeah,
For a walkway that doesn't exist.
it's AI.
The drive, yeah, well, I know
Yeah.
that, but, and the driveway is on the other side. So the plan is not to create a driveway here, but rather to eventually create a walk leading to those stairs?
So, I believe we did call, we asked about changing the driveway to the other side. I think there's like $1,000 for the breadth, right? And then the plan is to change the driveway.
Oh, so the driveway will
Correct.
down that side, okay.
Correct. Just to clarify, so that's our house. This lot was part of the house, right? I think before we bought the house, there was a decision to divide the land. And this part was sold separately. We ended up a very small area for the kids to play to the backyard. And this side, we're not utilizing it because it's very steep.
Yeah.
The area where we park the cars is pretty flat. It's a great place for the kids to play. So the plan is to change the driveway to the other side. We did check with the neighbors. They're like, you don't have to ask this.
Okay.
So that's the eventual plan, is to change the driveway over there, so that we'll have more space on the other side of the house, and to create the stairs on that side.
All right.
And right now you do not have a garage, so there isn't a garage on that side, correct? I didn't remember seeing one, but I just wanted to check. Okay, and Nick, that's something that's been discussed and, so as that comes together, as that plan comes together, are the variances and things addressed as the setbacks are good?
Yeah.
Okay, and then, so there's a curb cut involved, and then does the driveway come to H-Car? I know we've had. No, I didn't think so, but, there's always been some gray area about where, like patios and things like that end up. So I didn't know whether the driveway actually came to H-Car, because I'm not sure we've ever dealt with the driveway before, but thank you for asking that, Dave. Okay, so then that, any other questions about the steps?
So it's, then, since I think, not inappropriately, a lot of the focus is on windows, but if they have to field change, provide details about the materials for
The
the
stairs,
stairs to be built.
yes,
You know,
so,
there.
yeah, so there, you know what materials you're going to use for the stairs?
So, as you can tell, the windows are gonna cost a lot, so this is a project for next summer. But my wife was like, we can get an approval for
Yeah.
free. But the plan is to have like wood and just to match the theme of the house.
Right,
I don't have like a different color from what we have.
so painted wood,
Correct.
yeah. Okay, and, what we would ask is, that when you do have more detail on how they're going to look, that you come to us again. Since you do have stairs on the other side, it might be good that they, kind of reflect each other. That might be something to consider, but when you do have, more detail, please come back. Dave, did you have other questions? Okay, Erin, did you have questions?
I don't have questions. I have to recuse myself from this one because my husband was the first window person that came to visit you. So I know I have too much information,
Gotcha.
but I did want to say that the reason that we asked for field change information is not necessarily for approval, like we're approving the general idea of the board, not me, because I'm recusing myself of the stairs, because a lot of our work is about documentation.
Right.
As much about approval, so we like to know what you actually are planning to do and then what you actually do, because sometimes those don't end up being the same thing.
Absolutely.
Thank you for clarifying that.
Oh,
Okay,
also, I think I can say this, you are eligible for historic homeowner tax credits in New York State. you've not heard of this, someone will send you information about that. There's a tax credit. You can get 28% of your project back as a tax credit.
Federal or state?
State income tax.
However, before you do the project, what you are proposing to do needs to be approved by the State Historic Preservation Office staff who manage these tax credits. So there is a, before you do it. So there is an application, it's worth applying for. I'm not sure if they would approve Fibrex replacement windows. They would certainly support the restoration of windows or potentially the replacement with wood windows. I'm not sure whether they would approve the Fibrex windows for the tax credit. Because generally the goal of the Historic Preservation Office is to maintain the original materials as well. And since wood is the original material, they're probably gonna wanna see a wood window. But whatever this board approves, if this board comes to some compromise with you, you could submit it to them, and if they don't approve it, but they say they'll approve wood instead, you can always come back and say, we're gonna do wood. Not like we're not trying to sell you on it or anything, but we are.
What's the advantage on it?
What's the advantage of it?
20% of the cost of the project.
However, the greater advantage, especially because you're doing work on your house, you're doing other things, interior and exterior. Correct? I know that a lot of work was done before you bought it, at least from what I've seen.
Correct.
But you're probably planning some other projects, from the replacement of steps to maybe you're doing some other work inside. A small percentage of work, approved exterior work, allows you to create an application for a lot of work that you might be doing. Potentially wiring or plumbing or other things to kind of restore and preserve the fabric of your home. I'm not sure if paint applies. We don't administer as a board this tax credit, but it's pretty broad. So if you're doing a big exterior project, it allows you to roll in a lot of the other work you're doing over several years to earn a greater tax credit. So it's not just for the windows, but it's for potentially other
Maintaining the
things.
house.
Yes, and other things you have planned. For example, I had work I was doing on the exterior of my house, but I was able to roll in some other interior. And I haven't finished it yet, but I'm saving all my receipts and I'll submit it probably at the end of this year for a tax credit for work I've done over the past 5 years.
So the thing is, you're getting the receipts, does not mean that.
They don't even want receipts anymore.
Should
No,
it be-
right, I'm saving all the documentation, excuse me.
But it shouldn't be
Yeah.
pre-approved.
It has to be pre-approved.
And they will usually approve it within 30 days.
Yeah,
Like it's, I just did it, so they like to, the application is really simple, it's a really small application fee. All of the properties in the village of Cooperstown, because it's all part of the Glen Glass Historic District, all count. Like you, as far as I know, everybody can apply for tax credits. You fill out a simple application, they charge your credit card like some small amount of money, and then they approve or don't approve your project. And usually they want, as part of the application, like approval from this board for the work to be done before you make the application. Yeah, it's anything to do with the historic.
So, and really to support the goals of preserving the character and the historic character of your home and the traditional materials. So that's why I can't speak to whether they'll say, oh, Fibrex windows, sure, we'll give you the tax credit. But it might make it worthwhile to reconsider some restoration and so it's worth, if you're not rushing to do this next week or next month, it's worth beginning that conversation with them because and there's information.
That's the really long web address.
On Seago 2000, which is over near the farmer's market, they will help with the application. So Ellen at Otsego 2000 can sit down with you and help you walk through the application too. So, that isn't something we do as a volunteer board, but Ellen does that as part of her, work around historic preservation in the community. Okay?
Thank
So
you so
thank
much.
you for remembering to mention that. Yes.
Making a proposal. If you did decide to change the wood, would you say, field change to wood, or would you say a change to wood would be pre-approved as opposed to?
Well, what is as long as the configuration and size of the materials, wood is the same material, so if you kept with wood, if you were restoring it, rehabilitating it, the maintenance of your windows is something you can do without coming to us. If you are replacing the windows with, proposing to replace the windows with wood windows, that is when you would come to the board for window replacement. But right now, the proposal is for the Fibrex, which we are, if somebody makes a motion, willing to, vote on tonight. And then once you talk to Ellen and talk to the State Historic Preservation Office, if you decide to move back to wood, because maybe the Historic Preservation Office won't support the Fibrex, but it makes it worthwhile to look at the wood again. We are glad to see you again and for a field change with your application, or if you're restoring and maintaining the windows you have. Great.
Gotcha.
Okay, you don't even have to come see us again.
I'd like to make a proposal.
Okay, Bernie?
You're quickly everybody know. I propose that each bar provide a certificate of appropriateness for the changes at 7 Walnut Street.
Nope.
Three out.
Three Elm, thank you. 3 Elm Street. Based on, 2A, B, C, 3C, D, and E, and number 5. But with the stipulation that field changes to staircase, once the staircase becomes more developed, be seen by HBAR, as well as that the front windows be repaired as close to the original form as they were, rather than replaced with Fibrex.
Thank you, Bernie. Would anybody like to second that motion? I think you can vote tonight, Lizzie, because Erin had to recuse herself. I apologize for not making that clear. Okay.
I'll second if nobody else wants to.
Okay, thank you. And, would, can we have a vote for that?
Can you just repeat the last part of that?
The
Stipulation about the front.
The front windows be repaired rather than replaced, to keep them as original as possible.
That wasn't proposed, is that allowed as a motion? That wasn't the application.
I understand that wasn't the application. I think we can let Bernie put a motion on the floor, and if it moves forward. So, we'll put it to a vote. Is there any discussion before we vote? Please.
Maybe pulled off on my second then. I had somehow tuned that out.
Okay, okay. So if we don't have a second on that motion, are there any other motions?
Well, how do you feel about this? Are you willing to look into restoring the wood windows on the front?
To be honest, we looked into the repair. The fact that it won't be, as efficient as the replacement, it's a big deal. I mean, my heater works 24/7 in winter, and the efficiency is very different for me, to be honest. I'm paying a lot in gas. So, and I was told that it won't be as efficient as it anyway. With the fact that the material itself is not efficient, so. The proposal is to replace it, this is what we can.
So you're not in favor of this proposal?
Not really, and with the fact that there's gonna be two companies, and there's long queue in having the work to be done, that's gonna add another month, and it's gonna end up next summer, so.
And I too live in an old house with storm windows and wooden windows, and I understand that. I will say, if you did want to do a deeper dive into the efficiency of windows and storm windows, they're equally efficient in a lot of testing with the right sealing to new windows, and actually sometimes more efficient, depending on the window. I'm not arguing with you because.
I enjoy replacing the first two windows,
Yeah.
the stuff.
Yeah, the salespeople will tell you they're more efficient. That is not, proven through research. I'm not gonna argue with you because I understand the allure of a new window as somebody who lives with old windows. I can understand that, and I raised small children with old windows, and I understand that as well. And in your, in what you mentioned here too. Okay, does anybody want to make another motion? Would we like the applicant to look into whether the historic preservation tax credit would support projects or would want to see wood replacement windows, or certainly support restoration and maintenance?
Do you mind if I say something?
Sure.
In terms of what Liz is talking about, from what we learn at our conferences and so forth, it's particularly the front facing windows that they're most concerned with, so, that might be it might turn out to be a, sort of a way to, get the other windows that they might not be as into, supported. So just for what it's worth, I just want to give you some insight into why it's not just that I wanted to manipulate what you're doing, it's that as far as historic preservation goes, the front facing is the most important.
Gotcha. And that's why we like, the design is gonna be the same.
Yeah.
To look the same. It's just it's more, user friendly.
So I think because of the extent to which the house will be changed by the replacement of all the windows with Fibrex windows, that's why you're getting a lot of hesitancy here. Because it will dramatically change the lovely house, and it will dramatically change it. We don't want to leave you in a situation that's not safe for your children or anything else. We would encourage a little more research. And I don't generally make motions. If you talk to the State Historic Preservation Office and come up with a window replacement that they are supportive of you using the tax credit with, I would encourage you to come back and talk to us about it. But they're probably gonna be looking for you to look for a wood window as opposed to a Fibrex window.
Right, and you can get a wood replacement window. It would just mean a different brand or type of window than what you proposed.
Gosh, I'm gonna say that 20% is equivalent to the wood or not. And
Right.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, and that's kind of the question I think we're asking.
yeah, yeah.
Like, come back with more information about different options that you might have and why you chose the one you chose of the available options.
We got.
Which you've already kind of done, but.
We got others,
options.
the
Right.
actual Anderson company,
Right.
they offer like $130,000.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm interested in the house.
Ellen may be able to help you navigate that application and may have some suggestions. I understand it's an investment, maybe there's a middle ground of another wood window that, because of the 20% tax credit, it gets closer to what you're looking at. But if you can take the next month to look into it and come back and see us next month and tell us about what you found, that might be, suitable to get you the tax credit, that would be great.
Got to think, we're looking forward, you know, to replace it in the coming one, because they look the price for 30 days. That's something, you know.
Trying to point something out along what you were saying about how the energy efficiency, some people think the energy efficiency is similar. That also in terms of the longevity of these wonder products like Pyrex and so forth, that in some houses, the wood has stood the test of time for hundreds of years, and Pyrex, you might find, is not all that it is claimed to be by the people, by the sellers of it, because I've heard different things about different materials supposedly lasting for a super long time, and then it turns out in the end that they don't necessarily last.
So like what's 100 years on the.
Well, I'm just saying that if somebody that along with energy efficiency, whereas some people say, oh, older windows are totally non-efficient. I would say that I've heard similar things about materials that when it comes to newer materials, that they're not always, you shouldn't always believe everything that you hear in terms of the longevity compared to wood, so.
If your windows are original or old growth windows, they're probably going to last longer than what you replace them with will. They're probably more durable.
Well, yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
our windows are more than 100 years,
yeah. So believe it or not,
1860.
yeah. If they're early or original to the house, they're with the right kind of care. Are probably that care is going to mean a window that's gonna probably last longer than the window replacement window will. So, there is a lot of research on this, and, we're not trying to sell you windows.
I'm fine. Make them cheaper and I'll do.
I understand. If, I understand you're also wanting to lock in a good price. These specials come up all the time. I will tell you that, because I get postcards from them every month, because I think they drive by my house and look at my windows. And say, there we go, we haven't gotten them yet. But I think it's worth, if you plan on being in this home and loving this home, it's worth exploring for another month. Other options. I suspect there will still be good deals out there in a month. Even if, you know, with prices, there will still be options for you with deals like this.
I want to say it has increased since last year.
Yeah, everything's increased since last year, though. If we all knew that last year, what we know this year, right? We would not have been procrastinators about a lot of things. I speak for myself, but I understand. So please look into the tax credit and come see us, okay?
Oh, it's like 6 months.
Yeah, next month, next meeting, because I don't see anybody on the board comfortable with voting to approve your application at this point. That's why we're asking you to find alternatives.
So I mean, wood is really expensive. I don't think I'm gonna do it. So even the tax credit 20% is not gonna work, to be honest.
And the restoration, rehabilitation, of the existing windows,
Like repair,
yes.
yeah, we've done that, and I don't think we're gonna do it. It's more expensive. It's not as efficient. We did that, you know, we got a company, and it's not worth it, to be honest. That's what we, you know, we did our research, we did everything, and we came with this request to replace them.
You know, one of the advantages of living in a historic village,
Well, there are limits on what you can do and having to come to the board to get it approved.
Yeah.
There are also tax credits, so it's sort of a, and you live in a lovely town, so there are sort of a balance between.
I didn't know about the tax advantage, to be honest, but, I'm not sure how much it's gonna be, cost effective, not sure. And how efficient it's gonna be. I mean, it's gonna cost more to make the design, and we gotta match the design that you guys prefer. I know that, vinyl is not approved, so we came with the fabrics, and many windows in the village have been replaced with fabrics. So we came with, to match what usually the home requires.
We're in a tough spot, we're the historic preservation board, so we're trying to preserve history, so.
Well, I would like to make a motion, I think we should have a vote.
Go ahead.
And this is with the understanding that we'll get the information about those stairs in 2027. So I think that it might provide a certificate of appropriateness for the project at 3 Elm Street under criteria 2A, 3A, and 5. And we recommend that you do speak with Ellen Hope at Zero 2000, find out more about the tax credit and consider the possible advantages. And then if there's some changes, you can come back for field changes. But what I propose is a motion to approve what you have submitted in your application.
Thank you, Dave. Do we have a second?
I will second that, because I think we are a historic village and we are all here because we love this town and what it looks like and want to preserve it. But part of preserving the village is enabling people to live comfortably in the homes that they own. And that I'm willing to make that compromise in this case. So I'm seconding.
Thank you, Lizzie.
Sure.
And my contribution to the discussion is, before you sign on the dotted line, if you do get approved when the board votes, please at least talk to Ellen about the application.
I'll do it for two purposes, to start with from the wood, and also they can approve the fibers.
And she will have more insight into that, okay? But it is worthwhile to look into. Liz votes yes.
David, yes.
Burning no. Yes.
Aaron's refusing. Lizzie.
Oh, fine, yes.
Thank you. Okay. So, your request is approved. Please do look up Ellen Pope at Zero 2000 and talk to her, okay?
I'll do that, and
Thank
for the stairs, I'll come back with.
With the field change.
Mhm.
And here's your original document.
Okay. Have a good day.
You too, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Number 7 Walnut Street, would you like to come up and, tell us about your project? Have a seat. Hello, how are you?
Good, how are you? Do I need this one closer?
What do you think, Marcia?
I think it'll pick you up.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So I know that this is our second visit, 'cause there were a couple of concerns from the first one.
Mhm.
So I just figured I would kind of like recap, make sure we're all on the same page. So my name is Shani Murphy, I'm from Empire Solar Solutions, to discuss this, the solar installation at 7 Walnut Street in Cooperstown, New York. So the proposal is for 18 REC 460 panels to be installed in the south portion of the roof, which is the back side of the roof, so facing away from the street. It is black on black, non-reflective glass, as well as the border of the panels itself. I am aware that one of the concerns that came up last time was the size of the power wall, and then also like the conduit itself. So just to give a little bit of clarity, the power wall is 2 feet by 1.5 feet, 2 feet tall by 1.5 feet wide, and it does stick out 6 inches. Now, it would be installed on the right portion of the house. Because there is existing and ample amount of screening, so where you can't see it from the road, but that's where it would be located. The conduit itself is a silver conduit, which I know in the last meeting was brought up, if the possibility that it maybe be painted to change, blend with like the siding or something like that more effectively. The answer, the first answer to that question is yes, it can be painted after it passes the electrical and fire inspection. It cannot be painted before then. But again, just to point out, it is not listed from the street to start with, but that is something that we're going to do. I didn't realize there's so many of you. I did bring a reference photo of a different house. If you
Pass
want
it around,
to
share.
so like, so you can kind of see like what it would look like. And this is how it would be installed. I don't know if there's any other.
So there's one power wall, correct?
There's one power line, is correct. And
And
this
is this an image of the power wall
that's not that house, but that is exactly, it's a standalone power wall with the same exact conduit run. So it's as close to an existing install as we could get, where I can kind of show you how realistic it would look, how practical.
So it's called a power wall, but it's better.
They're interchangeable, right, yeah. I don't actually know the reason why.
Because, you know, why call it battery, you can call it something fancy.
Yeah, I'm sure.
People don't pay extra money for
Makes
battery.
right?
Yeah, no,
This
it's
makes
true.
it feel more powerful.
Yeah,
Um,
and I wasn't sure if there was anything else that was brought up previously, but I just kind of wanted to touch on this. And you can keep that, but.
we will put it in the folder,
Okay,
because we do like to document the materials that are being
For sure.
installed, so. So the conduit is paintable after the appropriate inspections and permits are completed,
that
correct?
is correct.
Okay,
And I also do want to point out for this installation, the house, the siding, the existing siding is white, and the power wall is also white. So if anything that was a concern, it already matches the existing. But for future reference, you wouldn't be able to paint it just in general, just to point out.
Well, it's no different than we don't paint,
Yeah.
propane tanks.
Yeah, exactly.
You probably could, but it's okay. No, you can't because they don't belong to you.
no, yeah, you can screen them. Okay, Bernie, did you have any other questions?
I did not.
Okay, Lizzie, do you have any questions? Yeah? Dave?
No.
Aaron?
Nope.
All right. It's a long walk off the short clip. Thank you for coming and
Absolutely.
clarifying these questions.
Yeah, I'm happy to be here.
Would anybody like to make a motion?
I can. Does I have to recuse myself?
I was gonna say, you could be in this one, yeah.
I know, I did also read the notes from the last meeting, which are not yet approved, but I feel like I know what happened at the last meeting. Okay, so I move that HPAR provide a certificate of appropriateness for the project, the solar project on 7 Walnut Street under criteria 5.
Okay, energy efficiency. Wonderful. Thanks, Skip. Any discussion? Okay, Liz votes yes.
David, yes.
Bernie, yes.
There you go.
David, yes.
You'll have another chance, so Lizzie.
Yeah.
Okay, so, that's approved and, Nick will take care of the permit and the letter of appropriateness. It should be sent to the applicant in a few days. Since you represent the contractor, Nick, I'm assuming it will go to the applicant or will it go to the contractor?
I'm normally go with the app,
Okay, so,
but I'll let you know when you, let you know.
Okay, and just for clarification, you're currently emailing, is it Courtney or the permits at Empire Solar? Okay, that's perfect. I just didn't want to go me.
Okay.
I'm behind my emails, I'm
so he'll communicate to you when everything is signed and formalized. Thank you.
So we're all set.
Thank you very much.
It's Murphy, M-U-R-P-H-Y. No problem. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Shannon.
Oh, wonderful. Night.
Okay, 78, you too, thank you. 7880 Grove Street. Cindy, would you like to come have a seat and tell us about your project?
Hey everyone,
Hi.
So I am here for the field change to our never ending project at 78 and 80 Grove Street. And I did want to confirm when our permit expires, because at some point you'll probably need to renew it again. So there are three parts to this field change. One is to install a more appropriate rear door. The current rear door, as you may see in the picture, is a wonderful rusted steel door with yellow vinyl, divide. Really divided, like, it's beautiful. So I provided you with an image of the new door. We realized that this craftsman style, the other doors on the house are 6 panel. But in this particular space, we want to get a little bit of light without having everyone who drives down Maple Street be able to see into the house, because the geography is such that you literally drive towards that door. There are also 2 additional porches. So we did the porches on the front of this house last summer. We want to replicate the one on Main Street or on Maple Street. On the rear, part of the reason it's so big on the rear is that in addition to that door that we just talked about, there's also a bulkhead, and that is where the electricity comes in. So we'd like to cover all 3 of those things with a port, with the entry door, the bulkhead, and the utility panel. And then a smaller, just simple gable over the other door to provide some protection. Weather from where they in and out. And the materials for all of those things, with the exception of the door, will be wood. The door is fiberglass, neat fairly.
First, Cindy, as a resident of Maple Street, I want to thank you for improving that end of Maple Street. And if anybody didn't notice the picture on the back page, this was the view from Maple Street 10 years ago, right? It's been 10 years.
We bought it in 2008, so it is actually done for it.
A long time ago, but they've been doing great work on it. Does anybody have any questions for Cindy regarding the proposed porches?
I do not.
Lizzie? Bernie?
It's fascinating to know, I included the visually ugly picture, not just so that you could see what it used to look like, but it's also clear that there was something off of the back of the building at one point in time, at least certainly more than a porch. It was probably a woodshed of sorts, but it had a whole small L that came.
This house was moved from another location, right?
The big part I think was built there, the wing was, I think, and when I looked at the thing, had a little ridge pole probably brought from somewhere else.
So what do you want to get approved by?
The 2 porches on the door.
So Bernie, the drawing on the 3rd page, this is the kind of west side
Yes.
of the house, kind of the backyard.
That, I just wasn't sure what was already approved and what you.
Yeah, so the 2 porches and the door replacements, when we originally proposed the project, I don't think we had even thought about the rear of the house. We were more focused on the 2 street fronts.
Do you have any other questions, Bernie?
Just, so you don't have any drawings of the porch other than this, other than, is there more specific drawings?
No, that isn't drawing.
Will it match the front porch?
I don't know that we'll do quite as good architecture on the back as we did on the front.
More broken.
Do you have any other questions, Bernie?
Nope.
Dave, do you have any questions?
No.
Erin, do you have any questions? Nope, you covered that side of the table. Okay. All right, would anybody like to make a motion? Great, thank you.
I propose the HR would provide a certificate of appropriateness for the project at 78 B Grove Street. Based on 3A, B, and D.
Thank you. Anybody want to second that?
I'll second.
Thank you. Battling seconds. Any discussion? Okay, Liz votes yes.
David, yes.
Brilliant.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Can you confirm who I got on the buyers? Oh, you don't, if you don't have the argument, it will be later. Oh, gosh, I can wait.
Thanks,
Thank
Cindy.
you. Thank you all.
You're welcome. Okay, next on the agenda is 69 Chestnut Street. Okay, Alex is not here. Okay, nobody else is representing it. Okay, how about 87 Beaver Street? And they're out of town. We'll reach out to them after the rest of the meeting and reach them by phone, correct? So we'll do it. Okay, we'll do it after the meeting, after the rest of the people present leave. Okay, 100 Fair Street, Jeff Collins. Would you like to come up and have a seat? Hi, how are you? Good. You can position the microphone between the two of you. You both plan on talking?
Yeah.
Okay. Did I need to? Okay, would you like to tell us about your project?
Yes, well, we're in the process of the start of what we would like to do some window replacement with, also some preservation, the restoration of windows at 100 Fair Street. Looking at the upper windows, which, I don't know, I can.
We got.
By this
Yeah, we
package.
got, yeah.
If you're looking at the front upper, in the north and south side, and one window in the back. We're looking at a 8x8 double hung and one 6x6 double hung. And we were wanting to replace those closely to replicate what is being preserved in the bottom floor, what we would like to do in preserving the windows that are downstairs. We did have people look at the upstairs windows. We feel that the deterioration and the upkeep on the ability to open these windows, everything down line, that as they relate to 2 bedrooms and a hallway and a bathroom, that there would just be right, and we would like to replace them with a 400 series Woodwright Armstrong when double hung. And we asked her, we want to match the grills with the existing downstairs as we preserve those, to basically coincide and replicate what the downstairs look like with the upstairs.
So the grill patterns would change? Is that what you're saying?
No, we're looking to match the grill pattern.
But the windows that exist, if it's in, for example, the ones you're replacing, the 8/8, would that be replaced with an 8/8?
Yes,
Okay, and the 6/6 would be replaced with the 6/6. So when you say you're trying to match the grill patterns downstairs, then
the width of, I guess, whatever that, they're calling the grill is, when there's the wood, that's.
mullion.
Okay, to that, I can match the.
Thank you. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I'm not technical on these woods.
Okay, so what you're saying is the lower windows have a thinner or thicker?
We had to measure the actual lower. And 7/8 is what he said, the thickness to be able to match. So as we replace the upper, the 7/8 thickness, that will match the lower.
And your lower front windows are 6/6, is that
And we're,
looking at the
the
picture?
one in the lower, like the front bay window is well, the one window with,
The 12 light fixed.
right, 12 light with, the storm,
That will be
that,
restored.
yeah.
The large window downstairs. will be restored.
On with.
Along with
Yeah.
kitchen window,
Okay.
dining room
Yeah,
window.
when you look at the north side, anything on the down, there, that would be restored,
Mhm.
south side, upper left. So, that would be restored along with the back side, you see a lower kitchen. And then upper right bedroom, that would be also.
So the lower kitchen is also getting restored.
Yes.
So I'm gonna recuse myself from this one also, because,
I know your question.
yes, correct.
Yes.
But just for clarification, this house has a number of casement windows. And so those are proposed for restoration, they're not replacing double hungs with casement with double hung, they're replacing, applying to replace double hungs with double hung in specific areas.
Okay, thank you.
And the 12 light, window on the north side.
Well, light on the north side. I don't think it's.
Are you talking about the basement window here?
That little, one that doesn't seem to open, right?
I think that would
that's-
be restored.
That will be,
Replaced.
that's a restore.
That's a restore.
What does that look into?
I think
That's
it's
to the
basement.
south.
The south stairs.
Staircase.
Yes.
We don't sell it.
Expensive utility, but
Hmm?
it's an expensive utility window.
Sure. Gives you. Flipping in the line.
That's right.
We have windows downstairs. Bernie, do you have any questions?
Nope.
Lizzie, do you have any questions? Do you have any additional questions?
No.
How about you, Dave?
Yeah.
Aaron, I know you're recusing yourself from the vote, but do you have any questions?
I do not. I will just add one fact that your house is from a pattern book that I've tried to find, but I can't.
Oh, really? Interesting.
Maybe some,
Like a Sears kind of house, like, or.
it wasn't a kid, it was a book of architectural, of
Already
architect drawings.
plans.
Mhm.
Oh, very cool.
So just out of curiosity, as I look at this, and this isn't a litmus test, but when you say the mountains are going to be 70 grill, and that's an exterior grill, a dimensional grill. And that's a question, correct? Is that thicker than they currently are or thinner than they currently are? When you said you're trying to match the size of the mountains to
When
the.
he actually went up to it, because I thought it would be like 3/8, but he measured across and he said 78, 7/8 is the most I can go, because they won't go thinner.
Mhm.
So.
Well, I remember.
Yeah.
First, who's going to restore the other building.
Yes.
They had discussions with us about, it can't be thinner because
they won't support the glass.
Mm-hmm.
Here we have to be that they are.
Mhm.
And it was the closest match that you would probably get.
Okay, I guess,
So, and I guess what I was also told was that the window expert might notice it, but the average person wouldn't notice.
and I should rephrase my question. Your first floor windows are 7/8, correct?
Mhm.
And that's why the goal is to have and this is just out of curiosity, the ones on the second floor, 7/8. Right now, are they thinner than 7/8 or thicker than 7/8? I'm just curious.
When he did it, he matched, when I saw him do he matched them with the 7/8. He said, no, these are 7/8, not 5/8 or 3/8.
Okay,
Because I didn't know.
so this
So
guy
he went over and he measured those, no, you need the 7/8 to match with.
on the second floor.
Yes.
Okay, so 7/8 on the second floor. Okay, thank you. Okay. All right. No other questions from anybody? Okay, Bernie, you're good?
Yep.
Okay. All right. And this is a paintable wood product. Does it come primed?
They're gonna be white because, they're gonna be like the other ones, and then on the inside, they're, pine, but they're gonna be
So
already painted white when they come to the house, because all the trim inside
Mhm,
goes.
It's white. Okay. No, I was just curious again, just checking. Okay. Would anybody like to make a motion?
If I have a motion,
Thank you, Bernie.
I propose that H4 provide a certificate of appropriateness for the project at 100 Fair Street. Based on 3A, B, D, and number 5.
Great. Thank you.
I'll second.
Thank you, Gibb. Any discussion? All right, Ms. Chess.
Maybe yes.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Get paid extra tonight, doesn't it? Okay. Thank you very much. Have a good night. All right, we're gonna move on to 94 Pioneer Street. Jim, would you like to come up and tell us about your project?
Hi, James. Let's see, so it's, 94, it's our garage in the back. I wanted to do a side carport. With no walls or anything, just an extension of the roof line from the existing garage to two, I think it'd be 4x4 posts. So that I can pull a car into there, because the existing garage is only one car garage. It would be made of the same material, bound siding, the asphalt shingle would be the same. And the post would just be 4x4 pressure treated. The garage, the driveway would not be extended, it would just be gravel, that's now.
Okay, and, nothing like architectural in the front, it's literally the framing and the roof.
Frame, correct, yeah,
Okay,
yeah. Don't want to do garage doors, nobody.
mhm. And we are not the structural police, but I think you'll have to go to county codes for a permit or to do this, right? So,
Sure.
are you working with a contractor?
But paper,
Okay, who will take care of that for you? They will want to see our permit before they review the project. So, and you gave us an image of, your neighbor down the streets.
okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the issue is, will mine be visible, because of the elevation of my home, because it kind of sits on the hill side on the high side of Pioneer Street. The only thing you really see from the road is the peak of my garage, the front of the garage isn't even visible, so you wouldn't see that car going.
It would, yes, and we made a kind of an exception for your neighbor with the one that's closer to the street, because of aging in place. And to kind of accommodate some of their special needs. But, I don't know if anybody else has any questions?
The other thing I'll bring up is, the structure can be removed.
Right, it is
It's-
reversible.
Yeah, it's removable, right, and.
Yeah.
That was my choice.
You got a variance for.
Correct, yes, and I sent it to Zoe.
There is
My
a
neighbor did give variance, correct.
letter attached.
Mhm.
So. Okay, so Bernie, do you have any questions?
No.
Lizzie? No. Yeah,
Yeah, the carport that your neighbor has a half gate that's filling in the gable, you're not gonna do that, right?
No, I think he's gonna put fascia to match the current garage. So it'll be like this, and then it'll just be white fascia there.
Right.
Prevent, I think, well, birds from nesting in there.
and as
Right.
he comes up with a plan to trim it, we should look at that as a field change. So if this does get fleshed out to more than as drawn, and that's why I was saying you're just gonna have structure, roof, and supports. If he does create some kind of facing, please, come back and we'll review it as a field change, okay?
Okay.
And,
What if he's just leave it open then? I mean.
that's up to you guys. We just have to, if you're gonna do it, we have to review it, basically. So, if, once he takes a look at it, gets it approved by county permit, says, this is how I'm gonna fill it in. Have him or you bring the drawing back to the next
Okay,
meeting.
next meeting.
I think ideally we would probably be looking at it from the point of view of how it works with the rest of the existing, even though it's so far away that you probably can't see the input, but that would probably be where.
That's part of it, and we need to have in the files that we approved what you built. So it's just part of our kind of paper trail and due diligence as well. But because it's not visible, it should not be an issue, is what you were saying, Bernie. However, part of what, anytime anybody changes what they're proposing in terms of the document you submitted, we just need to see what else was done. Okay?
Yeah, so he gave me. He gave me this, I don't know if you have this in there.
No, we don't. So, okay, so he's proposing a little bit more fill here.
Yeah, it looks like he said vinyl siding there to match the current garage. This is pure full vinyl siding. And I think that he's just gonna extend it through there so that it doesn't get broken up.
Okay, so I'm gonna pass it this way and then we'll pass it for Bernie and Dave and see if they have any questions. That helps to understand how that's gonna get filled. So before you leave, we'll have Nick make a copy of that. So,
Yeah.
okay, that helps. Thank you. And there you go. Does anybody else have any questions while the drawing gets passed around?
So I have some questions and a comment. So I did walk by today. And it will be visible from the street and from across the street. It's not invisible. I mean, it might
No,
not be-
no,
It might not be visible
Yeah.
if you're standing at the bottom of your driveway, but
Right.
it's visible from other areas, especially when there's no trees on the trees. And I also just wanted to comment that one of the reasons we approved the other cardboard on Pioneer Street is because that lot is small and there's not a place to build anything. Whereas you have a deep lot and already have a garage that could be expanded as a garage. So I'm just leaving that as a comment. And my question is, I'm not sure on that drawing how the eave from the roof is shown in front of the fill on that doesn't make sense to me in 3 dimensions, like. So we'll try to do this backwards, so your roof comes like this and the cardboard goes like this, right? And this part is shown as continuing to exist in front of this part. And I'm just not. I'm not certain how that,
Yeah, I know what you're talking about, but I imagine,
like, how's he gonna resolve that
Yeah.
area?
yeah, you're right, I had no idea, I assumed he was just gonna, it was all gonna be vinyl siding, the way I looked at it here. So I'm not sure.
So,
That's what you're basically gonna be facing when you see that on the roof line. What is that there?
Right, what
That
is that?
triangular area.
Yep.
so as there's greater clarity and detail about exactly how he's gonna do that, it would be helpful to have more information. Okay, and we can look at it as a field change. Were there any other questions once people had a chance to review the drawing? Okay. All right, would anybody like to make a motion?
No, make a motion. Vice President, each farm provided a certificate of appropriateness for the project at 94 Pioneer Street. Based on 3A, UD, and 4A.
Thank you, Bernie.
I'll second.
Thank you, Gib. Any discussion? Okay. Let's vote yes.
Yes. Thank you. I'll clarify from Bud.
We're not voting, we still have to finish voting.
Oh, okay.
It's okay.
Perfect.
There we go. Thank you. Okay. No,
I'll ask Bud to clarify what he's gonna fill that in with, and then bring it back
next month.
which meeting though,
So the meeting, this historic preservation board meeting on the second Tuesday of the month, which I think is the 12th next month, but I'm guessing at that. No, it's probably a little later. It's the 14th or
I'll
something.
reach out. I'll reach out, yeah, and I'll by that.
It's the 14th
I'll
of
clarify.
July.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so we can better understand how that intersection is happening.
Okay.
And, thank you.
Thank
Okay,
All
right.
Appreciate it.
so, are you folks here? We're not on the docket this month. I'm
Preparing to be hopefully on docket for next month,
Okay.
so I was going to try to introduce what we're doing is to find out if there was any way to get feedback prior to the formal proposal, so I could get it integrated over the next few weeks.
Okay, do you have drawings or anything?
do.
Okay,
I would be sensitive to your time, but
yeah, that's fine.
There's no other present applicants with different projects?
No, you're all together.
Yeah.
No, we're not all together.
Yeah.
I have a comment that I could make quickly. I find it difficult. I'm Margaret McGowan. I grew up in that house right there. And I still own property in the village. I find it very difficult to come to meetings where no one is introduced who's sitting in the front. There's no list of who the people are who are sitting in the front. And I think it's kind of rude to treat people that way with all these people talking. And we have no idea who they are.
I apologize. So I'm Liz Callahan. I'm the chair of the Historic Preservation Board. I've been on this board since 2012 and chaired it since 2016.
I just think in the future, it would be nice if people who want to know what's going on had some idea of who the people are. I happen to know some of them, but some of them I don't. Isn't in the roster?
Yeah, we're all on the website.
It's not,
I printed it, I think we're,
Brian Alexander is still on the website. David
Okay.
Sanford,
I'm just, I'm sorry.
yeah, I mean, I think the website is not up to date. And I was looking at the names that she had and I said, well, I know Brian Alexander died and I don't see David Sanford. And I don't see,
You get the other David.
yeah, I don't see, I don't see Roger McMillan. And so the roster on the website is perhaps needing update.
Thank you for pointing that out.
Yeah, thank you. So, are you here regarding this project?
So I'm interested. I'm just, that's the only comment I'm going to make.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Here, so what property are you speaking about?
Pulling his out and so my name is Kyla Colburn. I am a local Cooperstown grad, and I've spent the last 30 years in facing projects around doing historically sensitive, renovations, so largely commercial buildings. I've been back in Cooperstown since COVID. My parents are Cuban Judith program in Woodville. My children now go to Cooperstown School. So I was approached very recently, by Cooperstown Main Street Partners, which is, an initiative that's, started to renovate some downtown properties that were purchased. Cooperstown Main Street Partners LLC is the LLC. Louis Prosciutti is the principal of that LLC. I was approached because he purchased some buildings on Main Street, Cooperstown, and was interested in a pretty aggressive, project. So on one hand, goals were great, lofty, wanted to tear down some buildings, wanted to put in parking garages, wanted to build a huge community music venue and all kinds of things, wanted to kind of give back to the town and wanted to invest in the town. I spent the last few weeks backing him out of that and into a concept that can restore the existing buildings and try to accommodate those uses without any demolition. So that's where we're currently at, and I'm going to try to be on the docket for next month, but it's a lot of property, it's a lot of stuff, it's a big project, and I know how long this process can take if I come in cold. So what I'm hoping, would you mind passing this out? So what I'm hoping to do, and all of this, might be more than what is relevant. I'm beginning to build packages for everything, kind of for branding and historic and zoning and to start to figure out what my options. One of the buildings is the CVS. Another building is the adjacent building, Nicoletta's, which already has a great looking historic facade. I mean, I would go on the ladder tonight and take down the facade of the CVS if you guys would tell me I could do that and bring it back and break with my hands. The other two buildings are 65 and 69 Main, which those are the storefront numbers, and the building is considered 67 Main, which is the entrance to the apartments above. So for those, we're at the beginning of kind of digging to try to find all of the historic photos that we can. The first few pages that are about our goals is something that you can, it's kind of the talking points and the slides that you could look into later as part of the package. Tenant demographics, he's already creating housing for volunteers of Bassett, and the Parks Club also doesn't relate to what you're doing, but it might help to understand that he's already started to put his money where his mouth is in terms of making sure that this is in fact a Cooperstown Village initiative, as opposed to potentially a Grange Park initiative. I'm just gonna put out on the table, so I think it's what we're gonna be discussing at some point. So if you look at the page that has the HPRB on it, that's where I did download the wrong names from the website, so I will correct that. Soon. So in this image, we have a very simple rendering of we have a photo of the existing CVS facade and a rendering that is very preliminary. It wouldn't be what I'd be bringing to you guys next month. That would be CAD drawings with sizes but it gives an idea of kind of the goal of getting that back to the look of the historic. And I can show you the images of what that was later on. The other building that's shown on that same page is that strange double connected building with the two peak roofs, which on this page, I've shown some potential different historic colors and some cleanup and some beautification of the storefronts, I'm showing that because I'm obligated to speak for Louis and tell you how desperately he wants to do this right away. That being said, I understand what the process is going to be and that it's also potentially phased. So the immediate goal that I will probably be proposing next month is paint and clean up and maybe some storefront beautification of what's existing. The longer term goal, this one to discuss, the longer term goal would be
Sorry, I gave you guys all this. It's back in the blue section, which is the 65, 67 main, and if you look at this page. You can see that there's, this is very preliminary renderings, but I'm proposing that rather than take that building down and put up a 4-story structure, that we speak, that we renovate the first 2 floors now, and that we seek structural engineering advice to see if it's feasible to potentially put the 3rd floor on top so that we can fix that roof line and tie in the same kind of corbels and roof structure to the adjacent buildings. And that's gonna be way down the line, that would be pending quite a bit of structural information. So for right now, it's the middle path, but I will be trying to bring forward to at least get it cleaned up. So obviously it's the middle of summer, and there's a lot of people in Cooperstown, and it would be nice to get this done quickly, but I'm hoping to be able to come as prepared as possible for next month's hearing to try to potentially get some of these, 2 stories at least painted by before somebody goes.
Okay, so we don't approve paint. You can paint anything, anytime.
Great, but I can't remove that, heat of the facade without, so I'll probably bring that.
So, just for your timeline and general reference, you can watch any of these meetings and view any of these agendas for like the past 5 years on the town village website. So I would really suggest that you review previous agendas for projects like this and see what those meetings are like. So good examples would be, what was the other?
That's the 217 Main.
217 Main Street.
And it's been on the agenda maybe a handful of times.
Yeah, 217 Main, the, apartments on Chestnut Street, 13 Chestnut.
In Chestnut Crossing.
Chestnut Crossing, and then the.
10 Chestnut, I think.
10 Chestnut, yeah,
Great.
10 Chestnut, and the corner of Glen and Road.
Okay.
That's, the next to the, credit union building. Okay. So
The current project.
Okay, that's on, okay, existing construction. For timing, any demolition of any part of any structure. Entire structures, portions of structures require a public hearing. So you have to come with the application for demolition, then we have to set a public hearing for the next month's meeting. And we hold a public hearing, then we listen to the public, then we vote on the demolition. So demolition, any demolition of any part of any structure takes a minimum of 60 days, 2 meetings.
So I just have a clarification question. So right now, the concept of demolishing any of the buildings is very thankfully completely off the table. My question is, if, like, even in order to look at what's under the vinyl siding that's on the CVS facade, I'd really like to get under that and see what condition the brick is in and what is there, if the old signage is there, and I don't know, is removal of the 1970s siding on that considered demolition, or is that, can I take that down so I can then start to repoint or restore what was there?
I think you have to apply to remove it. It's not considered a demolition, but for example, before I sat on this board, I applied to remove siding from my house to expose the original siding.
Okay.
And I had to expose the original fabric. I had to come with a plan for if I found something that was not something we could work with, what was I going to do
Right.
to protect the structure?
Okay.
So,
So what should I do for, I mean, even to be able to make this plan as proposed, I almost need to come and do an exploratory hole and fill it back. I don't have any way of assessing.
you don't have to fill it, you have to,
Just come to us with some sort of plan.
And hopefully,
So the worst case scenario is you take the vinyl siding off,
then
there's something back there that is hazardous to health. that falls down on the sidewalk, that makes it look worse than what you have a build plan,
Sure.
Right.
then what?
Got it.
So what will you do if it's not something you can work with?
Understood.
So the goal is to show us the original facade and restore it,
Right.
but if that's not salvageable,
For one of the other Main Street properties across the street, we did, I think we approved an exploratory removal of
Right.
certain parts of the facade. Because they didn't know what was under it and they wanted to restore what was under it, but they didn't know what was there.
Right.
Right?
So would it be appropriate?
Review that,
That
we'll try to find the address, but just
Okay.
go back through, it's a main street, like almost directly across from the clubs.
one of the New York Forward projects, correct?
Yep.
No, and I think it wasn't directly across from Nicoletta's, I think.
Just the old McEwen's are.
Yeah. Yeah,
McEwen was part of that.
Also, Liz,
I think Margaret can tell you the address, right?
McGowan's is, it's at 74 Main Street. I couldn't tell you McEwen's address.
Right.
And this project would also be eligible, depending on how you approach it, you could explore commercial tax credits. For restoration, so, and it is more difficult to get commercial tax credits than residential tax credits, but it's also more valuable. So it's 30% instead of 20%. And you can go to you can also go to Otsego 2000.
Okay.
To Ellen Pope, and she can help you, provide some technical assistance with that and point you in the right direction. Many of the commercial projects on Main Street come to us with a project plan, depending on the extent of the project. And it may need a seeker review, it may need lots of things. We only do the appearance of the exterior.
Okay,
So
so then just to clarify, so I'm correct, the 65 to 67 to 69 Main, which is adjacent to the distillery.
Mhm.
That, at this point, that would only be painting with and cleanup of the historic color. Does this mean that I can go ahead with that without?
you
Okay,
can paint anything at any time.
great. And then for the CVS, if I came with a proposal that said, I would like to have restoring the original brick facade approved, and I will come and take down some of the facade, and if I find that it's not restorable or it's going to be an eyesore, we'll put the existing siding back on. But if it looks good, I'd like to continue with that and then begin the repointing and restoration, seems to me.
And that actually came to us in an exploratory way about 2 years ago. Somebody else was exploring buying that property and came to us with the proposal to restore the original facade. So again, look through the minutes of the meetings, there should be a recording, so you can see what they presented as well. And we were supportive of that, so it, we need the form of application.
Do you understand?
and the pictures may be in file,
Right.
hard copy of the
At the
application.
beginning of
Some of them
time.
used to be a grocery store.
Yeah.
And they have pictures.
Okay.
What it looked like back then.
Excellent. Working on the timeline, thing. Okay, so the last question I had for you guys was, in the meantime, so right now, the concept is to start, cleaning the inside.
Margaret, you can't close the door,
Because
but
the
you can
public
ask them,
meeting.
you can ask them to be quiet.
I'd like to get the old ECT, scrape up the floor, assess the closet, cargoes, all these kinds of interior things. And while that's happening, rather than putting brown paper in the window, I'm hoping to potentially put some messaging, positive messaging, or maybe coming soon. Fairly general, but I didn't know if the historic committee needs to approve any of that
No,
messaging.
say
versus
we're,
brown.
our dream, our vision,
Right.
not
That-
coming soon exactly this, but
Okay.
we can imply that
Sure.
we're hoping.
History lives here, small town, big identity, these are very kind of, just something other than an empty 1970s facade CVS with a view to.
I would suggest not putting any unapproved rendering of anything.
Sure.
It's just Cooperstown, so they're gonna look at that and say, did who approve that? It doesn't even matter what it is.
The conceptual versus this is what.
Very general. Okay,
Okay.
so on this
Yeah.
page, it's basically just pretty pictures of the lake that says something is coming that's positive to the town, so.
Nothing that looks like a building.
One other question regarding your phase one repair and repaint. Looking at this image as an example, there is an additional window where the two,
Yes. That's not real.
okay,
This is, ideally, by the time I'm here next month and have submitted these, there'll be actual CAD drawings of the existing conditions and elevations and measurements. And right now, I'm just scrambling to try to wrap my head around the scope of this and try to figure out what the realities are of the phases and the times, lengths of time. Because on the 65 and the 69 main, we have existing storefronts that aren't too far away from being usable. One would be really great is a little kind of bakery or pop-up for farmers market people. One was this card shop, and I'm just trying to figure out, is it a possibility that there are potential activations of these sites even this summer or not? So by next, the upper parts of the renderings that will come, and I don't see any kind of additions. I mean, ideally, even above CVS, that would come up another level and tie into the similar heights of the two buildings on either side, and but I don't have any idea if this could start to be one of those are double wall brick, or, you know, I'm just getting the columns measured and starting to do that. So we're way far out on those things, but I would love to, and the concept of the CVS building, is to kind of make it like similar to where the farmer's market is now, but an all year. So booths around the outside, like a food hall, communal seating inside, of probably great woodland antiques for all chairs and tables. And then the idea would be to give, because it's such a large space, and my concern when I originally thought about getting involved myself is that if a business fails there, it's a big loss, and we don't want to have a lot of large businesses potentially fail there, and this might be a way to mitigate. So the pop-up idea is to, at least for the first number of years, potentially make a spot for the smithy and local potters to sell things, a spot for local jewelers to sell things, a spot where the farmer's market might be able to sell all week long, and thereby have smaller, a community space for training as an easy spot to get a coffee and local products. That's where my head is going with it, which is also, I know, not, I don't want to call it what you guys have to do with, but that is the intent of trying to get it back to the old facade and have it feel kind of like a market, market hall or, so in order to,
nice to see that something's.
I'm really
in that
hopeful
space.
I would strongly suggest working with the farmer's market
Yeah.
early so that they're not.
I'm already in
surprised.
discussions, but, right, and I see Sonia and time, all these people pack up and bring all these goods here for one day and then go back, and there's people that would shop every day if there was a 20 by 10 booth that was communal farmers market. You know, the Smithy doesn't really have, no.
And I think some of the other projects that can. So we're fairly literal as a group of people, right? We look at a drawing and we need to understand all the things on the drawing. I would suggest not bringing colors. We don't look at colors. Don't give us anything distracting.
Okay,
Right? If it's not in our purview, don't show it to us.
okay,
It makes it, unless it's something that we need to understand behind,
Right.
like, oh, this is the kitchen and that's why these windows are short because the counter is under here, right? And then I think the projects that come to us with very clear phases are good. So if you bring us, here's what we're applying for here in phase one, this is what we're requesting permission for. Here's some vagaries about phases 2 and 3, and here's how phase
Okay.
1 supports that potential work.
very
But
helpful, thank you.
when we can see that phase 1, if all the money goes away, what we're approving in
Sure.
phase 1 is to something sustainable, as
Mhm.
opposed to phase 1 is taking the roof off,
Right,
then
Right.
what?
Right.
So, you know, it's nice if after phase 1, you know, we all get hit by a bus. and the project is sold to somebody else, it's not a hole in the village for the next 10 years. So bring us some stuff that is sustainable and.
It's very helpful to understand how to make a proposal for the facade of the CDS building specifically,
Yeah,
and then I can go ahead and get the other cleaned up. It's great.
The other thing that's helpful to know is we're here as volunteers to uphold this law, which you can read the whole law. If you need bedtime reading on the village website, I highly recommend what we're here to do, and there is some guidance on the website, especially about windows. And some other things that are, common projects that come before us.
So. With storefront. With storefront windows. Because it's commercial is a different situation. I think it's a down the line issue, but if I'm. This is a set of windows I put into a commercial building in Providence, so I had custom made historic grade and matching. Is that the same process? I just get all the details into it when I want to do that and propose very specifically the materials.
Yeah.
So rather than coming for a conceptual, you guys want now walls that open.
We don't design.
Okay.
You come to us with a design.
Thank you.
You look at the law, you say, I think this falls within the purview of the law. Right, you create your argument.
That's clear.
It's a lot easier for us to look at a spec sheet from a manufacturer with actual dimensions.
Yep.
Than it is for you to say, what?
You're ready.
It's aluminum, and they're gonna be kind of the same dimensions, and it's gonna be as exact as we can get it to what's there. Like, that's hard for us, because exact means different things to different people.
Yes. Right, well, it was very helpful to watch this and. Yeah, it's one that I was prepared.
Also, based on all the things recent project expanding the store, their process of coming here was useful. As an example.
Review. Multi-phases, but yeah. You get a sense of how that works. I mean, because it all doesn't get decided in one meeting usually.
Sure.
Especially because things change so.
And you can hear the kinds of questions that we ask and ask that they come back with detail about something, or there was an error in what they submitted and it doesn't make sense, because I think as individuals, whether it's certain details I think as individuals to us don't matter, but it's for the file, it's for the permanent record of what happens in the village, so we like to make sure that's very clear.
Giving me a very good path for the proposal for CVS. I'll just come with contingencies for whatever we find and then possibly remove the.
And just know that any demolition takes a minimum of 60 days, and
It's a setback for the town and for the project that I'm hoping to go there completely.
and so, for example, if you're going to remove the peak, the peak on the CVS facade, that's a demolition.
Demolition.
I mean, even though we all agree that is not original, it's still
So
part
even
of
if
the
the original
existing.
facade underneath is intact or just needs repointing and has the handsome line, I would still need a separate permit to remove the vinyl siding of the peak.
Well, to remove the peak, the structure.
Okay.
Yep.
So the siding, you can do that exploratory removal you talked about, but
When we approve it.
this,
So-
right.
What approval would I need? Because I was thinking
You're
about
gonna
it as
need
if
it
that whole fake facade thing is just the garbage. What other approval do I need to be able to broach taking that peak down?
You would need a demolition permit to remove the triangle on top of the CVS.
Okay, and the demolition permit only comes after a certificate of appropriateness?
No.
So
I can do that now.
when you apply to be in front of us at the next meeting.
Yep.
You can apply for demolition of the peak on the building.
Okay,
When you come before us at the next meeting, we can set a public hearing for the following
Understood.
meeting. So there are a number of reasons we can't do that tonight, not just the absence of a formal application, but the application has to be signed by the owner, things
Sure.
like that.
Okay.
So when that comes before us, that at that meeting, we set the demolition for the next, the public hearing for the next meeting.
Is
So-
there a certain number of days that preempts the advertising of the hearing? Like if I brought a rendering with the possibility of that being down and the owner signed it? Or said that?
We have to do it within our meetings.
Gotcha.
So they happen the second Tuesday of every month. So it will get noticed publicly once the public hearing is set, it will get noticed that that discussion is happening at the following HPAR meeting.
Understood.
So the earliest that you're gonna be able to demolish anything on the, outside of the exploratory removal of some siding to see
Right.
what might be under there that we could approve at the next meeting. The earliest you're gonna be able to do any significant demolition on the front of that CVS is August 12th, which is the day after the August 11th, the August meeting, which is.
Understood. Thank you. Okay, well, I appreciate taking that extra time and, I'll get as ready as I can for next month.
Yeah, and ask, call and talk to Nick, ask him if the application is complete, ask him if this is too much or not enough or whatever.
And the application should be submitted by the 1st of July. So Nick has time to process it, get it to us, because we receive the applications and then we all do our research before the meetings as well. Margaret, did you have another question or comment?
Is the CVS on that considered part of demolition or can that come down?
CVS isn't on that anymore. Is it?
The letters aren't, it's just that terrible.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, I think that's an old photo, right? See, this pharmacy's gone, it just has that peak and the
yeah.
graphic siding and the.
So
I know.
a good example of the demolition permit, right, is the Rudy's, whatever the Rudy's building is, right?
RUDY.
They are gonna remove the parapet, which was added, right, like later in the sixties or something, and then they're also removing the back porch and replacing it, and there was a demolition hearing for that.
Okay, great. Yeah, we've been trying to trace the history of when that was added and find more photos of it was back then.
I mean, it doesn't necessarily matter that it was added, we just need to give the public an opportunity to support or, yes, I really love the idea that you're removing that heat roof, or no, that's horrible, it's a part of the 1970s heritage or whatever. And then give us those public law, and that's part of what we do, is give the public an opportunity to speak their feelings about things that happen in Cooperstown.
Okay,
Thank you.
I appreciate you taking the extra time. Do you have a question?
Yes, 67
Yes.
Main Street.
Mm-hmm.
That's a Greek revival building, wooden building, and those elements are original. There used to be more of them on Main Street. I would really object to you removing those and turning it into an Italian building
Okay,
like the other two. I'd leave it just the way you have in phase one.
got it. So this is very early. And I haven't had the chance to, I see that there's an extra window there. I haven't had the chance to, from the back side of the building, we've done the first surveys, they look like they're separate buildings.
I think they were.
Yeah. So I'll get more educated about what the history of those two buildings is and what the original facades are. So right now, the only photo I've been able to find of that building, I'm not even black and white, and be able to tell whether it's stone or, this is the only one I found. And I tell that this.
Fenimore Art Museum Library has over file folders on all of the buildings in town, and
You got that there?
I may have a photograph from the 1850s.
Okay. Sorry, I won't go. Because the other one I have before the library. Okay. Yeah, this is the oldest one I have. I don't know,
But there
but it actually
are
is.
older photographs, show some other buildings I think there were four.
Okay. Well, we'll do our homework.
Write down how I can get in touch with you,
Okay,
and I'll
excellent.
send you a copy.
I have, this is my address, solutions of California size on the front of it. And you can email me the name.
Okay.
Great, thank you, Carol.
Okay, thank you very much for.
Thanks for your time.
And, we will look forward to talking to you next month. Okay.
Thank
Great.
you.
Thank you. Enjoy your research.
Yes.
Sounds like a great project.
Well, hopefully.
Yes, great. That's.
Yeah. We need to try 87 Beaver. Okay,
Thank you.
you're welcome.
Okay.
So this is the proposal for 87 Beaver Street. The package to install a fence. We can begin to discuss it while Nick tries to get them on the phone if people are comfortable moving forward. We could. So David, I don't know if other folks saw the email David sent earlier, but he did send an email of the fence at 27 Eagle Street facing Beaver Street that's very similar, if not identical, to what's being proposed. I'll pull it up on my phone, which might help folks to get a sense of that. Where did we go? Dave, you said, oh, right?
It's not.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I don't have any recent.
Sure, oh, here we go.
Was it this morning?
This afternoon. So here, Aaron, and then I'll pass it the other direction. Dave, you can show Bernie.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there you go. If you're having trouble finding it, it's under quorum check.
Oh.
Yeah, okay. I think this is not the village of Cooperstown.
I didn't get the form check because I was the one asking about the.
Right, that's why. Okay, so it says very similar, if not identical.
Do we have a design for the post?
So there,
It's on the second page of the application, the second page of.
the images. So the post is a little bit different. See the one that's circled in the upper left-hand corner? So it won't be capped,
Right.
it's gonna be a simpler post.
I have one question in reading the application. It said that and this is really just for clarification, it said that the gates were going to be 8 feet, and I assume that is 8 feet wide and not 8 feet high.
Yeah, 80 line. Because the gate goes across the driveway. It's not in the garage.
I also had a question about any hardware that would be on the gate.
So the hinges and the latches.
Right, any hinges or latches, we didn't get,
Visible
information about
hinges or
that.
latches. So,
Those are the only questions.
are we comfortable if once the other questions are considered? If those are the only questions, or if we decide our questions allow them to move forward, but we need more detail at the next meeting regarding hardware like hinges and latches. Do other people have questions regarding the application or comments or concerns?
Or can we approve it, the hardware being the field change?
Yeah, exactly. If folks are comfortable doing that, thank you for putting that more simply.
It's a long day.
It's been a very long day and the caffeine wore off a couple of hours ago, so. Okay, Lizzie, anything? No? Yeah,
No.
yeah, Bernie?
Good.
Aaron, anything else? Okay, it is a little unorthodox for us to review without, vote without the applicant present. But if folks are comfortable and somebody's comfortable making a motion with the understanding that we are going to request more information regarding the hinges and, latch hardware on the, gates, that would be part of the, criteria, if somebody's comfortable doing that,
I'll do that.
okay?
I move that a department have a certificate of appropriateness for the project at 87 Beaver Street under criteria 2A, 2C, 3A, C, and D, with the stipulation that we get more information about the hardware associated with the fence to be correct.
Thank you, Dave. We have a
I'll
second.
second it.
Thank you, Bernie. Any discussion? Okay,
I would just like to amend the emotion, the motion that the hardware, that they come to us with a field change about the hardware prior to it being installed.
yes, fair enough. So ideally, if the installation is gonna happen soon, at the next meeting. Okay. Liz votes yes?
Dave, yes.
Or yes.
Giving us.
Aaron, yes.
Did we have a second on that?
Yep.
That's where my being level has really plummeted.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. And then I did not want to drag things out. Did folks have additional questions around 69 names or adjustments applications? Or would you, I'm not seeking a decision at this point, but did anybody in reviewing that application desire more information at this point?
There are more windows than.
Yeah. And
30.
Nick, did they submit any other?
I called multiple times, I spoke to them today, they said.
Did you-
Here.
They were gonna
I
be
spoke
there?
to him.
Oh, did you talk to Brian or Alex? Okay, I did talk to Alex extensively. I gave her examples of what would be helpful for us to see for clarification. I will try to speak to Brian and Alex again. And, I did do that a couple of months ago after the meeting.
That's the first.
Yeah, before the next meeting, so, we can try that again. Any other questions, though, is
Just
clarification,
do a complete census of every window, the ones that are being replaced.
and that's kind of what I talked to her about, I gave her some examples about how to do that to make it clear to us. We can try to communicate that again. And maybe to get a revised, application cover page to present confusion.
Yeah, get rid of the Richardson window
Yeah.
lawsuit, does not have anything to do with that.
Okay, thanks, everybody, for taking a little extra time to listen to Kayla. I, think it's exciting to hear that there's gonna be some work on those buildings. I appreciate that everybody took time tonight to hear her out, so we can give her a little feedback. Did everybody have a chance to read the minutes as,
Yes, I found a typo,
okay,
was, 84, Pioneer Street. And, it wasn't.
84 Pioneer, we're looking there.
Oh, that was.
Okay, fine.
Anyway, it's a simple change. You have, the basement is gonna be purged. The basement wall, and it should be polished. That's all.
Thanks for catching that, Kim.
Maybe want to remove it, or excavate it.
Was Was it 94? No,
Oh,
that was 84.
Or down
Yeah,
next
then
page.
it was the big one,
About halfway down,
I'll
just
just
the
search.
things doing.
not version,
It should be. Okay, I'll fix that.
so it's on page 7.
And just, we just like to note that typos are very rare,
Yeah,
and thank you.
I was shocked when I said it.
I was a typo.
Now, you know what, that was AI.
It,
It
was probably, it was an auto.
Right,
Yeah.
right, yes, so we're not even,
So I had another. On page 4. And discussion for 7 Walnut Street, fourth bullet, it said, Liz expressed concern regarding the solar panels being visible from the street. Should that be the control panel instead of the solar panels? Solar panels are.
Yeah.
I understood it was,
Okay.
they were concerned about how high up the roof of the solar panels were up to project,
okay, okay.
but maybe I misunderstood.
Well, I can't honestly remember.
Okay.
It did look to me like you'd be able to see them from the street.
Yeah.
Where they are with the.
Maybe it was the control panel. I'm glad to listen to the recording and get to clarify it. You want me to? I will do that. Okay. With those corrections, once that's clarified. Anybody be willing to make a motion to approve the minutes as corrected?
I agree.
Was that a second, Bernie?
Yes.
Okay. Vote? We
David
can,
Burgess.
Aaron's gonna recuse herself, so Lizzie gets to vote. Liz says yes.
Yes.
Awesome, we're good. Thanks, everybody.
I'll go. I may not be here at the next meeting, I think anyone else. That's the first thing, and because I'm not gonna be here with us the next meeting, I have a feeling, River will come back to us about the church. And I have met with them, I have discussed, possibilities. I have reached out to my extended family, that all currently own that plot. And we're okay with the fence as proposed, and we are talking to him about foliage or, bushes.
Screening.
Yes, and so, but I know the bushes are not part of the purview here,
Right.
but I just wanted to let you know.
Okay.
If it comes up, and do you need a letter from us before he comes? I'm assuming he's gonna come, but I don't know.
I don't
He is planning.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, you can put a letter together if you wanted to. I'm not sure we need one, because of, I know it's the Cooper family plot, but if you look at the deed, it's weird, 'cause it's still the church's property, right? Because I looked at the deed because of the way it's broken up, and even though, the family has ownership of some of that real estate, it's still kind of the church's property from how I read the deed.
I always been taught that was the only remaining piece of. the
Well, maybe
But-
I'm missing, but maybe I'm missing something in that too. And it's a couple of pieces puzzled together. There are like 2 or you have to look at this again, at least 2, if not 3 kind of pieces. So maybe there's a little postage stamp in there.
And we don't pay taxes.
Right.
Are we adjourned?
Yeah. Oh, but we're gonna make a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Yeah, so, thank you. So anyway, thank you for clarifying that. I hope you're going someplace fun or.
Nathan asked me to come walk it with him tomorrow on the 17th.
Yes, if there were several of us involved,
Okay.
then it would be considered a form of meeting, but you can go and walk. Yeah.
I'm trying to get into. I don't have a condition steps. Those literally use the only sounds.
That would be great. And it's my understanding that Susan Snell and possibly Ralph have offered to work with him